They say everything we've been told about the Bermuda Triangle is a lie. That the stories of vanishing planes and ghost ships are just that, stories. But if that's true, then where did all the planes and ships actually go? Welcome to Chalk and Silence. Real crimes, real mysteries, real unsolved stories that were waiting in the dark. If you're new here, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, since it helps keep these stories alive. There's a stretch of ocean in the North Atlantic that has earned a dark reputation. It's a vaguely shaped triangle, its points often marked by Bermuda, Miami, and Puerto Rico. For decades, this area has been known by another name, the Devil's Triangle. The stories are the stuff of nightmares. More than 50 ships and 20 aircraft have sailed or flown into this patch of water, only to disappear from the face of the earth. No wreckage, no survivors, no explanation. Just silence. The tales speak of compasses spinning wildly, of pilots radioing in a state of complete confusion, seeing strange lights before their transmissions cut to static. Rescue teams sent to find them would sometimes vanish too, compounding the tragedy and deepening the mystery. It's a place where the known laws of our world seem to bend, where something ancient and powerful is said to hold sway. The theories are as wild as the ocean itself. Some whisper of alien abductions, pulling vessels into the sky. Others speak of portals to other dimensions, or strange, malevolent energies radiating from the lost city of Atlantis, deep below the waves. For a long time, these chilling tales were all we had. But the real mystery of the Bermuda Triangle isn't what happened to the ships and planes. The real mystery is what happened to the truth. The legend as we know it didn't just appear out of thin air. It was built piece by piece, story by story. It gained its power not from official reports or naval records, but from magazine articles and best-selling books that favored a good mystery over hard facts. Authors took unrelated maritime accidents, sometimes separated by hundreds of miles and many years, and wove them together into a single, terrifying narrative. They created a geographic location for paranormal events where one had never existed before. The story that truly cemented the Triangle's terrifying reputation is the disappearance of Flight 19. On December 5, 1945, 5 U.S. Navy Avenger torpedo bombers took off from Fort Lauderdale, Florida, for a routine training mission. 14 men were on board, all led by an experienced flight instructor. The weather was clear. It was a simple 2-hour patrol. But then, something went wrong. Radio operators on the ground picked up a disturbing transmission from the flight leader. He sounded confused, disoriented. He reported that his compasses were malfunctioning, both of them. He said he didn't know which way was west. They were lost. Over the next few hours, radio contact faded in and out. The pilots sounded increasingly panicked. They couldn't see land. The ocean below looked wrong. Nothing was familiar. The last thing anyone heard from Flight 19 was a garbled transmission, as if they were trying to pass the lead to another pilot before the radio went silent for good. The Navy immediately launched a massive search. A Martin Mariner flying boat with a 13-man crew was dispatched to the last known position of Flight 19. But then, the unthinkable happened. 20 minutes after takeoff, the rescue plane also vanished from radar. It never made radio contact again. The search continued for days, covering hundreds of thousands of square miles of ocean. They found nothing. No life rafts, no debris, no oil slick. It was as if 19 men and 6 aircraft had been erased from existence. This single event became the cornerstone of the Bermuda Triangle legend. A chilling, unexplainable disappearance that defied all logic. For years, that's where the story of Flight 19 ended. It was presented as the perfect mystery. But investigators and diligent researchers started asking questions that the storytellers had ignored. They went back to the original, unedited Navy reports. And what they found changes everything. It turns out the popular version of the story leaves out some critical details. The flight instructor, while experienced, had recently been transferred to Florida from the Pacific and wasn't as familiar with the local area as the other pilots. It was his first time flying that specific patrol route. Also, while the weather was clear at takeoff, the official Navy report states that it rapidly deteriorated into a storm with high winds and towering waves. This was not a calm, sunny day at sea when they vanished. It was a violent tempest. The rescue plane, the Martin Mariner flying boat, had a known tragic nickname, the Flying Gas Tank. These planes were notorious for having fuel vapor leaks that could cause a catastrophic explosion from a single spark. In fact, a tanker ship in the area reported seeing a massive fireball in the sky at the exact time and place where the Mariner disappeared. They even sailed through an oil slick at the location. The rescue plane didn't vanish, it exploded. And as for the compass, the flight leader believed his were broken because he thought he was over the Florida Keys. But he wasn't. He had made a crucial navigational error early on and was likely far out over the Atlantic, east of Florida. Confused and flying in a storm, he led his squadron further out to sea until they ran out of fuel and crashed into the violent waves. Suddenly, the unexplainable mystery of Flight 19 becomes a tragic, but entirely understandable story of human error compounded by severe weather. Once researchers began to apply this same level of scrutiny to the other famous disappearances, the entire legend of the Bermuda Triangle started to fall apart. Case after case revealed a pattern not of paranormal activity, but of omitted facts and outright embellishment. Many disappearances never even happened. They were fictional stories created by authors to sell books. Many ships and planes that supposedly vanished without a trace inside the triangle actually sank in other parts of the world, and their wreckage was found. Other incidents involved vessels leaving port during hurricanes or other documented extreme weather events that could sink any ship. Still others had perfectly logical explanations, like mechanical failures or running out of fuel, that were simply ignored in the telling of the tale. The biggest challenge to the myth came from the people who would care the most: insurance companies and official government bodies. Lloyd's of London, the world's leading maritime insurance market, has stated clearly that they do not charge higher premiums for vessels traversing this area. Their data, which is among the most comprehensive in the world, shows that the number of sinkings in the Bermuda Triangle is not unusual when you consider the sheer volume of traffic and the volatile, hurricane-prone weather of the region. Furthermore, the U.S. Board on Geographic Names does not recognize the Bermuda Triangle as an official name and does not maintain an official file on the area. The U.S. Coast Guard, which has conducted countless search and rescue missions in those waters, is on record stating that their reviews of lost aircraft and vessels over the years have not uncovered anything that would point to causes beyond the physical and explainable. In reviewing many of the Triangle incidents, they found that the storytellers had often twisted the facts and that most disappearances could be attributed to a combination of environmental and mechanical factors. So, what are we left with? The Bermuda Triangle is one of the most heavily trafficked areas in the world. It's crossed by countless cruise ships and cargo vessels every day. It's a region known for the Gulf Stream, a powerful ocean current that can cause sudden and extreme changes in weather. It's also located in Hurricane Alley, where violent storms form and rage with incredible destructive power. When you combine the high volume of traffic with volatile weather, it's not a mystery that accidents happen. It's an inevitability. The real story here is not about a mysterious force swallowing ships and planes. It's about our fascination with the unknown and our love for a good story. The myth of the Bermuda Triangle was created by writers who knew how to tap into that fascination. They took tragic but explainable accidents and stripped them of their context. They left out the storms, the mechanical failures, the human errors. What was left was a collection of seemingly impossible events that pointed to something supernatural. It was a better story, a more exciting story, and it sold millions of books. The greatest trick the Devil's Triangle ever pulled was convincing the world it existed at all. The disappearances were real, but they were tragedies, not paranormal events. The true mystery was the careful and deliberate construction of a myth, a modern legend that took root in our collective imagination and refused to let go, even in the face of overwhelming evidence. The only thing that truly vanished in the Bermuda Triangle was the truth. Now that you know the truth about this mystery, click to watch the video on your screen about a legend that turned out to be all too real.